project in North Sumatra, killing 10 people. 3 people were still missing when rescuers ended their search last week. Fatal landslides and flash floods are common across the country during the rainy season.
ASEAN Focus will be right back after the short break.
Innovation, digital disruption, globalization. Startups, micro, small, and medium enterprises, as well as large corporations, all face interesting challenges in the market today. Peek into the world of exciting opportunities and partnerships to drive growth with the latest business news and information. We are open for business. Your weekly dose of entrepreneurial inspiration to update you on the latest developments in the world of business. Get up close and personal with CEOs and thought leaders to help you discover valuable insights. Sharpen your instincts for smart decision-making with the latest markets and economic trends, disruptive ideas, global innovation, social entrepreneurship, and other leading-edge business ideas. Join the conversations to create a more vibrant environment for entrepreneurship. Catch Open for Business, from vision to action.
All right, back to the news. Vietnam received 10,000 sets of COVID-19 testing kits donated by the Ampharco USA Pharmaceutical Joint Stock Company in Hanoi. Joining us live is Eliana Faith Sebastian. Hello, Eliana.
Hello, Alma. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Go ahead.
Yes, that's right. And here is an update from Vietnam News Agency. 10,000 COVID-19 test kits were donated to Vietnam. Ampharco USA Pharmaceutical Joint Stock Company donated 10,000 sets of COVID-19 testing kits at a ceremony held in Hanoi on May 12. And this was received by Deputy Minister of Health Chan Van Tuan. In the event, Tuan commended the company's success in utilizing the technology from the Vietnam Military Medical University in producing this made-in-Vietnam kits. Under the decision number 2263/QD-BYT issued on May 7, the Ministry of Health licensed these kits to circulate. Most of the current coronavirus variants can be detected by the Ampharco USA's AmphaBio HT high throughput PCR COVID-19 kit. With the joint cooperation of the firm and the university in creating this product, it has already been tested and clinically proven on 2,000 patient samples. Tuan emphasized as the highlights of the event that it demonstrated the firm's corporate social responsibility in the fight against the pandemic. Under the Prime Minister's instruction, the ministry organized a board for the mobilization and coordination of resources for COVID-19 prevention and control in March. The freshly received test kits will be stored at the company's warehouse to make certain of preservation conditions and be distributed to localities in need of following real-life situations. For the COVID-19 update, Alma, as of this morning, there are 35 cases added to Vietnam, with 33 coming from the quarantine sites. Vietnam has recorded 2,213 domestically transmitted infections and 1,445 imported cases so far. As many as 643 new cases were recorded since the latest outbreak hit the country on April 27. Back to you, Alma.
All right. Thank you very much, Eliana, for your update. And I'm hoping to hear more from you as we follow this developing pandemic situation around the world. Hoping that everything gets better. Thank you and stay safe.
I hope so too, Alma. Thank you so much reporting live from Da Nang, Vietnam. This is Eliana Faith Sebastian. We live in interesting times.
The Southeast Asia Clean Energy Facility, a collaboration of international foundations seeking to accelerate the low-carbon transition in Southeast Asia, has invested at the development phase of a floating solar and storage project in Dong Nai province in southeastern Vietnam. This comprises a floating solar and storage peaking plant with a target capacity of 500 NP with batteries, energy storage system of up to 200 megawatts per hour capacity. By investing in the project, CSET, which is managed by Singapore fund manager Climb Capital, aims to demonstrate that there is an alternative to locking in thermal capacity in Vietnam through a cost-competitive and environmentally sustainable solutions. Vietnamese state-owned utility company, Vietnam Electricity, stated that as many as 82 plants with a combined capacity of 4.45 GW were connected to the national grid as of 30th of June last year, allowing them to qualify for the feed-in tariff program. FITs are payments made to renewable energy producers, be it companies or households, for each unit of energy they produce for the electricity grid. With an initial focus on Indonesia, Vietnam and the Philippines, and managed by Singapore-based Climb Capital, the Southeast Asia Clean Energy Facility is backed by leading international climate foundations and investors.
Now, nearly 3,000 inmates and officials in Thai prisons have tested positive for COVID-19. We have an update coming in from Faye Barte from our EBC Thailand Bureau. Hello, Faye.
Good afternoon to you, Alma, and to all our viewers. The cases today has been rose to 4,887, and that is the highest record so far since the third wave has begun. And the major reason for this are the prisoners or the inmates in Bangkok Remand Prison and Central Women's Correctional Institution. They have recorded 1,795 inmates or prisoners in Bangkok Remand Prison, and 1,040 at the Central Women's Correctional Institution are recorded to be infected of the coronavirus pandemic. And one of the inmates that has been recorded, which has the common name, is Panusaya Siti Jara Watanakul, or the most commonly known as Rang, who is more commonly known by her nickname, and she has faces 9 charges of insulting the monarchy over her role in protests last year that rocked Bangkok and even other places around Thailand. And the second reason also there that contributes to these high cases of COVID-19, Alma, are the spikers and staff of the national women's volleyball team that have been diagnosed with COVID-19 also. And because of this, Alma, they are forced to be withdrawn from an international tournament that will happen later this month in Italy. And the Thai Volleyball Association, that they announced that 22 players and trainers and other staff members were tested positive. And because of this, Alma, many people are urging the government to have the vaccine already. This is based on the people that we can encounter and we can mingle all throughout the day, that they want the government to boost and to make fast the giving of the vaccine to everyone so they can be protected in the current pandemic that is ongoing in the kingdom. And another information that the people are being worried also, because the Thai Volleyball Association announced that they are all asymptomatic. Back to you, Alma.
All right. What about the inmates and officials that are that have tested positive in Thai prisons? Is that right?
Yes, Alma, you are correct. They are tested positive, and thousands of them are recorded to be positive. However, they are receiving medical treatment now, and the correct have been announced that if there is a severe condition or critical medical condition underlying, they are going to be immediately go to a hospital or big hospital to receive the medical treatment that is appropriate to them.
All right. Okay, thank you very much, Faye, for all your updates there in Thailand. And hopefully, as I always say, hopefully everything gets better. All right, so stay safe and thank you for your time.
Thank you also, Alma. Stay safe also. This is Faye Barte reporting here in Thailand. We live in interesting times.
Back here in the country, the Philippine monetary officials kept the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas key policy rate steady as inflation is now expected to stay within target this and next year and domestic growth to post improvements. During the virtual briefing streamed through the BSP's Facebook page, BSP Governor Benjamin Diokno said the policy-making monetary board decided to maintain the key rates. Take a look.
The latest inflation forecasts indicate that inflation is likely to settle within the target range in 2021 and 2022. Inflation is now projected to track a slightly lower path in 2021 to average near the upper end of the target band as price pressures on food commodities are abating with improved weather conditions, the impact of Executive Orders number 128 and 133 series of 2021, and the implementation of direct non-monetary interventions to alleviate supply constraints. Meanwhile, the inflation forecast for 2022 is seen to remain near the midpoint of the target, but has increased slightly owing in part to rising international crude oil prices. The risks to the inflation outlook are also broadly balanced. The Monetary Board emphasizes that the timely implementation of the approved non-monetary measures will be crucial in mitigating further supply-side pressures on meat prices and inflation. At the same time, the Monetary Board expects the domestic economy to continue to recover in the coming months, aided by the government's targeted fiscal interventions and the sustained rollout of its vaccination program. Improved prospects overseas should also support the outlook for domestic economic activity. However, the recent surge in COVID-19 infections and the resulting measures to contain it continue to temper market confidence and pose substantial downward risk to domestic demand. On balance, the expected path of inflation and downside risk to domestic economic growth warrant keeping monetary policy settings steady. The Monetary Board believes that sustained support for domestic demand remains a priority for monetary policy, especially as risk aversion continues to hamper credit activity despite liquidity in the financial system.
The government of the Philippines continues its COVID vaccination rollout following the recent arrival of Pfizer-BioNTech vaccine supplies through a symbolic vaccination at the Makati Medical Center in Makati City on May 13, 2021. Let's listen in.
We are very happy to be here on behalf of WHO and the COVAX facility. The arrival of Pfizer vaccines on the 10th of May to the Philippines is indeed a milestone. This is the first shipment of Pfizer vaccines. We expect significantly larger shipments in the next few weeks. We only know that the vaccines are effective against preventing severe disease and death. So it is still important that even though we are vaccinated, We continue to follow the minimum public health standards of hand hygiene, mask wearing, face shields, physical distancing, avoiding closed, crowded, congested settings.
My name is Michelle Langali and I represent the U.S. Embassy, but I'm also the Health Director for USAID, which is the U.S. government's main humanitarian and development organization. And we are very proud to be the largest donor by far to the COVAX facility. And we're excited that we're going to be supporting through the COVAX 20% of the vaccinations here in the Philippines. So that's 1 in 5 persons we will be supporting.
So far, we have vaccinated over 2.5 million Filipinos. Belongs to A1, A2, and A3. A total of 6.4 million doses have been deployed across the country, with 3,446 vaccination centers have been activated. With the steady arrival of the vaccines, we expect to receive 7,753,450 doses in May and 10,050,000 in June, which will bring our total vaccine supply to 21,829,050. We expect this number to significantly increase in the coming months.
On the evening of May 10, the Philippines welcomed the arrival of 193,050 doses of COVID-19 vaccines from Pfizer BioNTech, the fourth vaccine brand made available to the nation against the virus. It is also the country's first shipment of doses from the American pharmaceutical company through the COVID-19 Vaccines Global Access, or COVAX.
And the city government of Manila started the deployment of the newly arrived Pfizer vaccines for the A1 Group medical frontliners starting today. In a Facebook Live video, Manila Mayor Francisco Isko Moreno yesterday said that 7,020 doses of the American-made jabs were delivered at the Santa Ana Hospital late Tuesday night. Take a look.
No, mga kababayan, bukas, Huwebes, meron tayong bakunahan ng Pfizer. Okay? Ito po ay magaganap sa Santa Ana Hospital. Nasa inyong mga screen, no? 210 doses. No? Ang out of 7,000 divided by 2, so 3,500. 210 muna tomorrow. At ito, katulad ng ating commitment bilang pagpapahalaga sa mga medical frontliners, no, ay sila muna ang babakunahan ng una at ikalawang araw. Katulad ng ginawa natin sa Gamaleya, Sputnik. Binigyan natin ng premium ang mga doktor at nurses and all other medical frontliners. Pagkayari ng 1 at 2 araw, siya natin itong ibinaba sa A1, A2 at A3 na naubos naman din sa loob lamang ng 2 araw.
And the vaccination has started. He said only 210 doses of Pfizer jabs will be deployed on this first day, only at the Santa Ana Hospital because of the sensitive handling requirement of these vaccines. The mayor said that the district directors of the 6 district hospitals of the city will also be present to observe and to study the actual deployment to familiarize themselves once the Pfizer vaccines are rolled out in other hospitals. Mayor Dumagoso noted that he reminded the district directors to be extra cautious in handling Pfizer vaccines as he doesn't want to waste any vial as much as possible. After 2 days, the Pfizer jabs will be rolled out for A2, senior citizens, A3, priority sectors, persons with comorbidities. Meanwhile, the vaccination for the second dose of the AstraZeneca jabs for the A1, A2, and A3 groups that got their first dose on March 16 and March 18 will also be held on Thursday. Mayor Dumagoso said 1,120 individuals are set to receive their second dose of AstraZeneca vaccine today at the Ospital ng Maynila. In other news, the Singapore Open, the last remaining badminton qualifying tournament for the Tokyo Olympics, has been canceled due to the coronavirus pandemic, according to its organizers. The tournament, which was scheduled for June 1 to the 6th, will not be rescheduled, the Badminton World Federation said in a statement. It said all attempts were made by the organizers and BWF to provide a safe tournament environment for all participants. The BWF said, however, rising COVID cases globally led to complex challenges in managing inbound travel. It also added that it would issue a further statement on Olympic Games qualifying at a later date. Singapore's infection numbers have been very low compared to the rest of the world, but officials last week banned spectators at sporting events and tightened travel curbs after discovering several new clusters. Officials in the city of 5.7 million have reported about 61,000 cases so far and 31 deaths. As with other sports, the badminton calendar has been thrown into chaos due to the pandemic, with many events canceled worldwide in the past year. The only major events to take place in Asia this year were 3 tournaments held in Bangkok in January. And the Malaysia Open Badminton Tournament, due to take place this month, has also been postponed because of a worsening coronavirus outbreak, according to its organizers, leaving only one qualifying event for the Olympics. The Badminton World Federation said the competition was scheduled for May 25 to the 30th, but will now happen on future dates which are not yet decided. Infections have climbed sharply in Malaysia in recent weeks, prompting authorities to tighten curbs in the capital Kuala Lumpur, where the tournament was due to happen. The BWF confirmed the rescheduled competition would no longer take place in the Olympic qualifying window. Now, this leaves the Singapore Open from June 1 to 6 as the only. That has also been canceled as well. That was supposed to start in June. As with other sports, the badminton calendar has been thrown into chaos due to the pandemic, and many events that has already been canceled worldwide in the past year.
Beneath a quaint little cafe in downtown Ho Chi Minh City lies a secret bunker that was once the hiding place of nearly 2 tons of Viet Cong weapons used during the 1968 Tet Offensive, a turning point in the Vietnam War that was eventually won by the Communist North. Let's take a look.
Thì cấu trúc hầm nó cũng có hệ thống để thông ra ngoài hệ thống cống ngầm để thoát hiểm hoặc là đi xuống mương đi đánh.
Như là nếu mà hồi đó chỉ một khẩu súng, 2 khẩu súng thôi, nó sẽ bắt mình, nó xử bắn liền. Nhưng mà mình cũng hãnh diện là trên 2 tấn vũ khí mà ông nhà tư ông làm nó không biết được. Tại vì ngày
Have you been there, Ralph?
I'm good. Thank you for asking, Alma. It's been a wonderful experience to work with you. How are you?
I'm good. But did you see the cafe? Have you been there?
Unfortunately not. Maybe
Not
soon.
yet.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you very much for keeping me company, Ralph. Thank you.
My pleasure, Alma. And that's the latest news in the ASEAN region. Thank you for joining us today. This is Ralph Wandel N5 from your EBC Vietnam Bureau. We live in interesting times.
And we'll see you back tomorrow. I'm Alma Angeles. We live in interesting times.
This program is supported by Security Bank,